Hey fellas, Dan Brokos from Lead Faucet Tactical. Out here filming another episode of Recoil Training Tune-Ups. Today we're going to talk about the double tap versus a controlled pair. This comes up all the time in my training classes. It came up 27 years ago in my military career. I'm going to tell you the definition of a double tap. 2 shots, 1 sight picture. I don't care if you're civilian, law enforcement, or military. We're responsible for accounting for every round we shoot. So shooting 2 shots with 1 sight picture is not a wise idea when there's multiple people in that room. A lot of different reasons for the double tap and how it came about, and I sort of have my own theory on it, and believe it or not, there's still people running around the world executing the double tap. When I was growing up in the military, we had subguns, and you can actually put a submachine gun on full auto and learn that trigger so well that you could fire 1, 2, 3 rounds on a trigger pull and put 3 rounds on target. And that double tap sort of came into play right there. And then we started looking, hey, submachine gun, carbine. Man, I gotta account for every round I take, fellas. And what it came down to is, people don't fall down after 2 shots. I need to be able to put 10, 15, 20 rounds into that guy. And if I'm executing a double tap, it breeds bad habits of coming off that trigger. The fundamentals of follow through and recovery are this: shot, follow through, drive the sights to the target, stay on that trigger and re-engage. You shoot when your sights are on target. That is surgical shooting. Account for every single round you take, and the double tap is not following that. If I gotta shoot 10 rounds into somebody, it's not going to be 5 double taps. Bap, 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 bap. I need to be able to manipulate that trigger, drive that gun. If I'm shooting 10 shots into somebody, I'm taking 11 sight pictures, not 5. That's sort of the pros of not using the double tap. And I'll be honest, about 1997, I took a big black marker and it went out of all the marksmanship manuals that I ever had in the military. The double tap no longer exists in my world, and I see it all the time on the range. Hey, quit double tapping, running multiple target drills. What do you mean, Dan? Bap, bap, drive the gun, bap, bap, drive the gun, bap, bap. Yeah, hey, man, well, I'm hitting. Yeah, your splits are like 0.15, but you're coming off the trigger every single time. And if I tell you to put 5, 5, and 5, we're not gonna be double tapping. So that's the cons to a double tap. And out here today, we're gonna shoot a couple multiple target drills. I'm gonna double tap, then I'm gonna use a controlled pair. And you're gonna see the difference in the bad habits a double tap can breed in. All right, fellas, what I'm gonna do is I have 2 targets up. I'm gonna hit my target 1 with 2 shots, double tap, drive to 2, 2 shots, back to 1, 2 shots, 6 shots total. And you're gonna see the difference and hear the difference. When I'm shooting multiple targets, I should be prepared to shoot 2 to 20 rounds, fellas, and that double tap's not setting you up for success. And you'll see the difference. I'm gonna fire it double tap, then I'm gonna use controlled pairs, and you'll see a huge difference in my time in doing this. All right, here's my multiple targets, double tap. Shooter ready. .275, split times of 0.6 and 0.17. 275, split times of 0.6 and 0.17. Hey fellas, I just shot the double tap. Now I'm gonna use controlled pairs. You're gonna hear a huge difference. You should hear 6 shots instead of bap, 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 bap. Let's see what we got. Shooting controlled pairs. Controlled pairs, multiple targets. Shooter ready. My time was 1.67 and my splits were 0.20. Huge difference in the time between double tap and controlled pairs. And you know what? Every single shot I counted for. 6 shots, 7 sight pictures, because I follow through recovery on the last one. See a huge difference. Hey fellas, in closing, double tap versus controlled pairs. I will say this, we always train predominantly when I first started in the military, shooting 2-round strings, and that's where, hey, we can get bad habits shooting a double tap. Run this drill, multiple target drills with 2 rounds over and over. Then I say, hey, 5 rounds each, fellas, and I hear bap, 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 bap. Oh, what happened with that 5th shot? So you can see the bad habits it breeds into. We should be thinking multiple follow-up shots at all times, 5, 10, 15, whatever it takes. The biggest thing is, I don't care what you do, you have to account for every single round you take, and by definition, a double tap does not do that. Try explaining that to somebody if you ever have to pull out your pistol or AR and say, hey, why'd you miss? Well, I took 1 sight picture and shot twice. Well, that's not accounting for every single round we take, fellas. And nowadays, that's the business we're in. We'll see you next time.